release the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, create length in the neck and the shoulders, and as we exhale, we round through the back. Inhaling, creating length, and as you exhale, you round through your back. Let's do two more. Breathing in, beautiful length in the body, and as you breathe out, you just round through your back. Lovely. Inhaling, big length. Exhaling, round through your back. And as you inhale, can we make the neck nice and long? And as you exhale, just really release and round through your back. Two more. Inhaling, big length, take the shoulders away from the ears, and exhale, round through your back. Lovely. Let's just come up to a neutral spine, and then just take our fingers forwards and come into that lovely lengthening as we float down towards the earth. Breathe in, and as we breathe out, we just melt into the ground just that little bit more and let go of any tension that we may have in the neck and the shoulders. Just really let go. Softness in the breath. Float those hands as far forwards as you can and get that wonderful length. And then slide back up and release the shoulders away from the ears. Let's take one hand to one side and lengthen through the spine. Come over into that lovely side body twist. And then float up to the sky and then over to the other side. Get that wonderful length. Let's inhale all the way up. And then as we turn, let's come into a lovely lengthening of the spine. Easing the knees down to the earth, making the neck long, shoulders down and away from the ears. And then come into another spinal twist, looking over our shoulders, and get that wonderful twist. Making sure your back is nice and straight and you have length in your spine. Fantastic. Just holding it there. And then come back to the centre and just release those shoulders. Let's come into an all fours position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's get that lovely release of the lumbar spine. So as we dip the spine, we look up at the ceiling, we inhale. And as we round through the back and arch the spine, we exhale. So let's breathe in, create length in the spine as we look up at the sky. And as we round through the back and arch the spine, we exhale. So just keep working through each vertebrae, lengthening through the spine and then rounding through the back. Now if anyone has any issues with their shoulders and they find going up and down into the sun salutation too much, you can just come into an all fours position when we do some sun salutations. So look up at the sky with the inhalation, round through the back and arch the back with an exhalation, dangling the head, the neck, the shoulders. So let's work with your breath. Your breath may be longer, your breath may be shorter. So work with what suits your body, releasing tension in the neck and the shoulders and creating that wonderful length. And then when you're ready, sit back onto the heels and stretch all the way out. Get that wonderful length in the body. Inhaling, and as we exhale, just float down to the earth just that little bit more. And then take your fingers around to your toes and just melt into the ground into child's pose. Just let go, have that softness in your breath. Let's breathe in, and as you breathe out, you just release, you let go, you have that wonderful softness in your breath. Filling the lungs with energy and oxygen, just letting go, melting into the ground. Fantastic. Just really release and let go, softness in your breath. Fantastic. And then when you're ready, slowly just come up into that all fours position and then come back into that seated position and come into Dandasana, our seated pose. So we sit nice and tall, our back is straight, we have length in our spine, the neck is long. We inhale up to the sky, big length, reach up as high as you can, and as you exhale, just melt towards your toes and breathe in, and as you breathe out, just float that little bit further forwards towards your toes, inhaling. And as you exhale, get that wonderful length, breathing in, breathing out, just melting down to the earth, filling the lungs with energy and oxygen as you float down to the earth. Just melt down, resting your chest on your thighs, and then inhale, big length up to the sky, and as you exhale, bring those arms down by your sides. Let's do that again. Inhale through heart center, up to the sky. As you exhale, melt down towards your toes, create that wonderful length. Now some of you will need to bend your knees if you have tight hamstrings. So just bend your knees slightly and release, let go, have that softness. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, just melt just that little bit more into the earth. And then release, floating all the way up. Bring your hands up through heart center. Inhale all the way up. And as you exhale, melt down to the ground and release into the earth, floating down as far forwards as you can. And just let go of any tension that you may have. Filling the lungs with energy, oxygen, and just release, let go, softness in your breath. And then just float back up into that Dandasana. Beautiful. Bringing one leg into the thigh and just reach down to your toes. And then inhale, one arm up and over towards the toes. And as you exhale, we float all the way back. As you inhale, can you lift up overhead towards the toes, and then exhale, float down towards the earth. Very good. Inhale towards the toes and exhale down to the earth. Now this is an excellent way of stretching out near the sciatic nerves in the back, and then open out as if you're drawing a half moon. So we lift up all the way, and then we float down to the earth. Now lift the arms up to the sky, float them down at the back, and then lift up into that beautiful wild thin stretch, open in the chest, and get that wonderful length in the body as we stretch up and get that beautiful good morning stretch. Now float your body down to your toes and reach all the way down and get that wonderful length, and then just let go. Lovely. Let's swap sides. So we're doing exactly the same on the other side. We have a nice straight leg, and we bring the other leg into the thigh. We reach down to the toes, and then we inhale the arm up and over and reach down, and then we float all the way back up and back down to the earth. Inhale towards the toes. Exhale back down to the earth. Inhale towards the toes. Exhale back down to the earth. So we really lengthen through the spine as we float up. Now try to make sure that the arm is coming up as high as it will go, as if you're reaching up to the sky and then floating overhead towards the toes and back down. Can we do two more like this? Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. And as we breathe out, we place the hands to the mat and we lengthen through the spine, get that wonderful wild thing stretch, opening out the chest. Any shoulder issues, stay down on the floor rather than lifting up. Now float your body down to your toes and come into that wonderful stretch, and then just release. Fantastic. So we're coming into an all fours position. Hands under shoulders, knees under toes, and let's just tuck our toes into the ground. Just tuck our toes and push forwards and back. Now the hands should be nice and wide, palms should be wide as the hands are down into the earth. Let's push into our first downward facing dog. Push the hips high, shoulders down and away from the ears, the neck is long, and we have softness in the breath. So let's breathe in, and as we breathe out, push the earth away with the hands, push the heels close to the ground, get that wonderful length in the body. Inhaling. As we exhale, just really release. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, lift the hips, and then start to take little steps, walking the hands towards the feet towards the hands, and just dangle the head, the neck, the shoulders in forward fold. Just let go. Now sway the arms and just release the body as we float round as if there's water by our feet. Just create that lovely release, and then slide up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, unpeeling, uncurling, unwinding, standing tall at the top of your mats. Now this is the pose of mountain pose, standing nice and tall. Create that lovely length. So let's inhale, open the chest, release the shoulders away from the ears, and bring your hands through to your heart center. Inhale to the sky, and as you exhale, melt down to the earth and release into the earth, relaxing the neck, the head, the shoulders, and just dangle in forward fold. Just let the body flow, release any tension that you may have. Perfect. Slide up through the shins, to the knees, to the thighs, hands through the heart center. Inhale all the way up, and as you exhale, melt down to the earth and dangle one more time, just relaxing the neck and the shoulders, softness in the breath. Now if you have issues with blood pressure, come up so the head is above the heart. Lovely. Let's slide all the way up for the last time, bringing the hands through the heart center. Inhale all the way up, and as you exhale, melt down to the earth, softness in the knees, and just release, letting go. Wonderful. Let's come up with the halfway lift this time. So the head, the neck, the shoulders are in perfect alignment. So we have a length from the top of the head down to the lumbar spine. Bring softness to your knees, your hands touch the floor, the palms come wide. Any issues with your shoulders, come into all fours. Otherwise, step right back into a plank, holding plank. Tilt forwards on plank, drop the knees, uncurl the toes. Elbows close to the body and float down into a baby cobra, uncurling the toes. Inhale and lift into an up dog. So we have a couple of options here. Any back or shoulder issues, you can stay here, low in baby cobra, kissing the ribs into the elbows. That's an option. Inhale, lift up, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Push the hips high and get that wonderful length. So we have a straight line from the top of the body all the way down, a perfect upside down V shape. Lovely. Holding it here, push the earth away with the hands, the head, the neck, the shoulders in alignment. Come up onto the toes and step to the top of the mat and stay in forward fold, hanging low. Come up really slowly, unpeeling, uncurling, unwinding, and bring your hands up and come into mountain pose. Beautiful. So we're going to go through that just a little bit more, because I have had people say to me their shoulders hurt and bits and pieces like that.